How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a new type of video. Basically, I'm not sure exactly what I'm titling it just yet, but the point of this video is going to be me basically just playing some games on YGO Pro in real time. We're not looking at any replays. I'm not walking you guys through replays. I'm actually just going to be playing actual live games, and basically throughout all those games I'm going to be walking you guys through my thought process, why I play certain cards, why I interacted with things in certain ways, and we'll just see where it takes us. This is the first of hopefully many in this series, and today we're going to be playing Mermails. As I figured, to debut this series, why not start with one of my favorite decks of all time, one of the most popular decks on this channel, Mermail, and of course playing the needle fiber package in here. As you can see, I've got a bit of the best of both worlds within here. Playing a going first, not so super hand loop oriented deck. You see, there's no Jet Synchron and Omega within the deck. But as you can see, I still have Desert Locust, I still have Trish, and of course still playing the Moulin Glacier, because how could you not? But yeah, the list basically has followed: 1 Moulin, 3 Megalo, 3 Teus, 1 Lapis Dragon, 3 Dragoons, 2 Pike, 1 Mander, 2 Gund, 1 Marksman, 3 Diva, of course. And actually the new list has actually just been implemented today on YGO Pro, which is perfect for this. 2 Infantry, 3 Neptibus, 2 Fishborg Launcher, 1 Instant Fusion Still, 1 1-for-1, 1 Moray of Greed, 2 Pot of Avarice, 1 Upstart, 1 Monster Reborn, 3 Call by the Grave, 2 Pot of Desires, and 1 Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi. This is just the Master Rule 5 card, which I don't even know if it needs to be still in here right now, because it's April 1st. I don't know. Well, it's about to be April 1st soon. I don't know if they've updated that on YG Pro. I'm going to keep it in the deck just in case, so we don't have any issues. In the extra deck, this should actually be a copy of Rare Fish. Forgot to put that in there because I'm going to make the switch now. 1 copy of Trish, 1 copy of the Adamancipator Rise Dragite coming out in the Secret Slayer set, 1 copy of Brionic, 1 copy of Desert Locust as our main needle fiber target, 1 True King of All Calamities, 1 Abyss Gaios, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 Dweller, 1 Toad, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Anemone, 1 Alacia, 1 Needle Fiber, and 1 Cloth Sheep. I'm still debating on finding a spot for Mistar Boy, as I currently don't have a spot for it. I might cut the Boral Sword right now for Mistar Boy, but I like having a Link 4 like that to go into. I'm really not too keen on cutting the Brionic because it is still, regardless, a great card to have within the deck going second. I mean, it's so easy to set up with Diva and Neptibus, just grabbing that Lapis Dragon to be able to go into that card to mass bounce things. I think it's okay, and I think for the time being, I'm probably going to hold on to it within the extra. Although I wish I could find room for a Mistar Boy right now. Alright, so I think I'm actually just going to side the Brionic for now. For the time being, if we have to go second, we could easily put that back in place of some other cards. Maybe side out the VFD or something, whatever it may be. But yeah, that's the extra deck I'm going to work with for now. Side deck, 3 Nibiru, the 1 Brio, 2 Gamma Seal, 3 Ash, 3 Dark World, 3 Twin. A pretty standard sideboard. But we're just going to go get into some random games and see what we can pull off. Hopefully we can win a few games, maybe learn a thing or two about the deck itself. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, I believe we've got ourselves a match against the one and only Kid Billy. Let's go ahead and see what it is he's playing against. We're going to agree to the Master Rule 5 terms and conditions. Hopefully he does as well. Basically right around the corner, so you might as well do it at this point. Looks like it's Monarchs. So this could be pretty rough if he does get a domain lock on us, but we do have the outs in that of Neptibus just being able to send the infantry, clearing any face-up card that we need. We also open Marksman. Our hand is okay at this point. Would like to see a card like Megalo or Teus with this hand, but we've opened a lot of Atlanteans, but it's okay. I think this hand is okay. He's going to start doing some Monarch shenanigans here, actually just leaving these 2 cards on the field. That one bouncing back to the hand. He does have Prime Monarch engraved. We pick up Gun for turn. That's not too bad. But yeah, basically this card has an effect though. It says if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one other Monarch spell trap card from your graveyard, special summon this card. So he does have a legal target for that. And then this card, I think, has an effect in the hand. I don't think we have to worry about this either. During your opponent's main phase of this card in your hand. Okay, so I'm going to start with a Neptibus. Really no other way to go about starting this hand than starting with Neptibus. If we'll see if he has a response. But we do have Call by the Grave, which is good. Prevent said responses. We'll see if he has Droll and Lockbird. Like, he does not. We're going to add Megalo. And then we might even, this might just be very bare bones here, depending on what he has. I mean, maybe or maybe not, because he does have Prime Monarch Engraved, which will block the OTK somewhat, because he'll be able to summon it. I think it has like a pretty, 2400 defense, which Megalo won't be able to get over without the Mizuchi. We'll do Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We'll hit that Aether out of the way. We'll get that Search also. And we'll go ahead and not chain the Call by the Grave. But yeah, this is going to be like a more laid back series. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. If you do have any feedback for me, feel free to let me know in the comments. Now we could go for possible Moulin Glacia setup. This is where our plays start to differ. We could go for Moulin, link these two off or something, or we could add Lapis Dragon, make Needle Fiber, and then Megalo double tribute, then make Needle Fiber to summon out something, to possibly make a Spell and Trap negate in the following turn. They're just really, actually we could do kind of a cool play here. This might be a little greedy as it stands, but I think overall we'll probably be fine. I'm gonna upstart here also, because I think we should be able to do, we draw Dragoons, which is really good actually. Yeah, that's really good to draw. So yeah, my idea here was going to be to do this, to tribute for a double attack. We'll see what he has. We'll put this on the board. And then since we opened, we drew the Dragoons actually, which is, like I said, really, really good. We're just going to go ahead and dump these. We don't have a way to get the gun live right now. We could add Moulin after this, though. He doesn't have any responses. Let's hope he doesn't have a response. Chain block that. And if we go for Moulin here, we're going to force out... a play here. We'll force out the Nibiru possibly, but we could either add Lapis, and then link with the Lapis. Couple options. Let's just grab Moulin Glacia here. Let's just grab Moulin. We'll summon that, and then if we need to, main phase 2, we can tribute this to search the Lapis Dragon, and then make Needle Fiber main phase 2. Let's see what we hit. No big deal there. This is the one we haven't attacked twice yet with, but I'm not going to tribute yet. Let's equip this one, and if he doesn't have anything, we just win right here. And battle phase is good, so that means no Nibiru. But we can imagine he's going to use Prime Monarch. He's going to use it right now. It's fine. As A-OK, we'll run that over. And I think this is still actually going to just be game, because we get another attack from this Megalo. And yeah, this is just going to be game right here. Now, if it wasn't going to be game, and actually already kind of didn't set up for it, but what we would have done before entering the battle phase is use this Megalo to tribute, to get the Dragoon's effect and also the double attack on this Megalo. So we would have been making up for the damage of tributing away that monster anyways. So we'll take the win there. Not super surprising. He didn't really put up much of a board, but we would have tributed the Dragoons for Lapis Dragon, summon that, swing with everything, and then main phase 2, link the Lapis and this Megalo that my mouse is on for the Needle Fiber, summon out the level 1 tuner, make the Adamasha monster if we wanted to, and go from there. I really don't know. There's really not a whole lot we can decide in this situation except for like Twin Twister. So I will cut an Avarice and a Call By for just 2 copies of Twin, and we'll call it there. I don't want to overside for this particular matchup if it really doesn't call for it. This hand that we opened is very good. Diva Teus is nice. Gotta go ahead and say that, because it is. We opened the Fishborg launcher too. We opened Teus. We basically can end Moulin Trish VFD with this hand. Launcher is such a fantastic card. I've always been a huge fan of Launcher. Now that we can get an easier way to tutor it out with Needle Fiber is great. Yes, Jet Synchron is a viable option, but that massive hand loop combo I feel like is pretty fragile. And I feel like it's just more of a flashy play than an actual viable play, because it is susceptible to a lot of interruption, and really doesn't leave you with much in the end. The build that I'm trying to go for does take advantage of some of the hand loop properties that you can now with going for Desert Locusts and things like that, but also still building a good board in the process, if that makes any sense. And this is a bit weird because I'm normally doing like replay commentary, and he just summoned the Wicked Avatar. I don't even know what the hell this card does. This card cannot be normal summon set by attributing exactly 3 monsters. Your opponent can activate spell or trap cards until the end of their second turn after this is normal summoned. The attack and defense of this card are 100 points higher than the highest face-up monster's attack on the field except the Wicked Avatar. And he has Domain. So he's locking us. We can't use... This is an interesting board. Going for Wicked Avatar. Like, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to turn off Twin Twisters and Cosmic Cyclones, but the thing about our deck is we do have built-in removal, searchable removal, but just face-up cards or face-down cards really doesn't make too big of a difference. We're going to add a Megalo here. We already hard drew infantry, which is just really convenient for us. We don't even need to clear this yet, so I'm just going to go Teus Dragoons. We'll grab the Gund here, since I want to just push for more damage. We'll see if he has any responses. We'll grab Gund, and then we'll grab... we have a chance for another Sea Serpent here. We can't link just yet. We're going to put 2 more Waters in the graveyard. And then 2 more. Moulin Glacier is also not the biggest priority at this point. You know, we're not trying to aggressively hand loop them once they've already done their first turn play, because they've already got to work with whatever cards they wanted to work with. I'm going to add Neptibus here. And then we're gonna summon this Megalo by discarding the infantry, of course, and we could go for the Prince. Yeah, we'll go for the Prince. That is gonna clear that. We'll bring back the Dragoons. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We could just bring back the infantry here and tribute that away for a double attack. And then just clear the Wicked Avatar with that, since we can get rid of this card. It says we cannot activate spell or trap cards, so we don't have to worry about that. At this point, like, I'm not trying to assemble a huge field. I'm just trying to assemble game, basically, because there's really no threats for us at this point. But what we can do now is make Needle Fiber and just try to keep building our board. We can make the Adamascia Synchro. It's just gonna scoop there. Okay. But yeah, we could have basically from this point on would have summoned the Fishborg Launcher from deck, synchro the Teus in that for the Adamascia Rise Synchro, and then summon the Teus in our hand by discarding the gun, bringing back the Teus. We could have made a Gaios there, and then equipped the Mizuchi to it, and then Desires for whatever else we need. We don't even have to make the Gaios. We can just start swinging with everything else. Yeah, that was our first match. Rather interesting. Hopefully you guys were able to take something away from that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do another game and see what happens. All right, looks like we've got ourselves another opponent. His name is Mother. We win die roll, so I'm definitely gonna go first because this build I do want to go first with. We open Double Diva, Desires, Upstart, and All By. See, like, this is more like of a more interactive test hand video. I guess you could look at it that way. But I'm gonna start with Diva right away. Don't want to use Desires until we get as many Dragoons out of the deck as possible. We get as many you know, necessary searches out of the deck as possible before we start burning the Desires. Because obviously the more good cards we can keep in there, the better, if that makes any sense. I am going to Upstart here. see if we can draw into any other water cards. We draw into Fishborg Launcher, so that's pretty good in its own right. So we can summon this Dragoons, not Dragoons, but the Megalo rather. Discard the Dragoons and the Fishborg Launcher. We'll use our Chain Links. Chain Link 1 Dragoon, Chain Link 2 Megalo, of course, as it is illustrating. But now we can actually... I think we can Moulin Trish VFD with this hand. Which is interesting because, like, this was a combo that I had created and came up with. At least I think I was the first person to come up with it. Not that it's a super big accomplishment, but before even, like, Needle Fiber was, like, a thing. I think this is how I'm supposed to do it. I think I'm supposed to Synchro, and this needs to, or no, we need Mander for this. We needed Mander for that combo to work. Okay, so that's why we need Teus. But we can at least, I think Moulin Trish though. That's for sure. Because if we summon Fishborg Launcher out of the grave, we can synchro with the Megalo, the Neptibus, and the Fishborg Launcher. It'll leave us with 2, putting 2 back in the grave because that launcher is going to get banished. So we'll be left with 4 here, actually. So let's go ahead and Desires now, since we've done as much searching as we need. And let's see if we banish the Mander. We did not banish the Mander, so we're going to go get the Mander right now. We draw into another Desires, because why wouldn't we draw into another Desires, right? So we draw Mander, but we have no way to get it into our graveyard currently, which is a big bummer. So right now, I think we can make Needle Fiber, or at least do this play that I'm thinking of. We're gonna do this. We're gonna summon out that. We're gonna make Trish here with this, this, and this. Put that there. Now we should have 5 Waters in grave. Take 1. It's Malefics. Okay. Yeah, so we should have 5 Waters in grave now. And this is where if we had room to, you know, get like an extra, or get this mana in the grave, we could make BFD here, but we cannot do that, unfortunately. But now I'm going to make Needle Fiber. We're going to link these 2 off. And we're going to use Needle Fiber's effect. We're going to go get the last launcher in the deck, so that's in there, so that's good. We don't want that to go away. We got lucky we didn't banish it off of the Desires. But from here, we'll set this, and we'll just pass. And then during their turn, we're going to take another card out of the hand. So we're going to hand loop for 4 with this one, and we get a spell Trap Negate on that as well. Had to think through that one a little bit. There was a little bit of a thonker. It's going to be kind of challenging with this type of video, too, to provide not completely boring commentary for you guys and also try to play well. We know he's playing Malefics. I don't know what any of his stuff does, so that's like the first problem. But it looks like we hit an Allure. We hit a Necroid Synchro out of his hand. Banish 1 tuner up to 2 non-tuner monsters from your graveyard. If you do special one, start a Synchro monster from your extra deck. Okay, he's going to activate Malefic Territory. This card is activated. You can activate 1 Malefic World from your deck while this card is in the field. Neither player can target a card in the field with artifact except the Malefic Monster effect. Wait, in the field zone with card effects. The Malefic Monster effect. There can only be 1 face-up Malefic Monster in the field. It becomes there can only be 1 face-up Malefic Monster in the field with the same name. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to chain Needle Fiber here, though. I don't see this as a big threat. Take another card out of his hand. Card literally just solely exists for Needle Fiber, too, which is funny. I mean, it doesn't solely exist, but I mean, in this case, it works great for our cause because we're hand looping our opponent. And it's just a free card, right? To make them discard. Sends off an evenly matched. So it's a good thing we actually made the Dragite. This card is great since it can negate both spells and traps. The only problem there is we couldn't get the Mizuchi on board, and this card is great because obviously it turns off Super Poly, which is huge. Normal summons the Malefic Gear. And he tributes that off, and we have Call By, so we might as well burn it since that's his normal summon. It's his last play. And that's going to be his turn there. So I imagine he's going to be going second or going first here. So I'm just going to put in 3 Ash Blossom because Ash is a pretty good generic, you know, stop all type of card. Especially against a rogue strategy like this. You really can't go wrong with having Ash Blossom either in the main or side. I'm trying to keep my main deck as pure water as I can, because a lot of our cards do revolve around needing water cards. But like, you know, obviously the Mermails themselves, you have to discard waters. Moray of Greed needs water, so we can keep our deck as consistent as possible by keeping non-water cards out of the main deck. That's great, but obviously I think playing hand traps is fine in Mermail. That's something I'm starting to open up to more, is playing more hand traps. Playing cards like Imperm, playing cards like Ash. Really, all I'm wanting to do is just play those 2 specific hand traps, because they are the most versatile, I feel. And, you know, Impermanence is just kind of a really well-rounded card. If you happen to go first, it can just be set to add on to your board, you know, basically allowing you to do whatever your board cannot do on its own. That's just really what, you know, those cards are great for. So let's see who's going to go first. We're going first. We've opened both Avarice and Desires, which is really nice. So we can take advantage of Avarice here. I am playing 2 copies of it in the main deck, so it's not super surprising we opened it. And playing 2 copies just increases our odds of opening it just a little bit more, you know, as, you know, opposed to playing just 1. So we're sending Dragoons, we're adding Dragoons, and what other Sea Serpent do we want to add here? We could add Lapis Dragon for a possible Needle Chief play, but I'm going to add Infantry here if I can help it. Also going to summon, let's actually activate Desires here. Let's just take a chance and see what we draw into. We draw into Mizuchi and another Megalo, and let's see what we banish. We banish a Launcher, Diva. That's actually not a bad Desires. We lose the mana, but it's fine. We didn't even have access to Teus to begin with. So I'm going to discard the Megalo and the Dragoons for this Megalo, since we don't need the other Megalo in our hand. And I think at this point, with having 3 engrave, yeah, we're going to add Lapis Dragon here. Oh, no, we banished our Lapis Dragon. Okay, so that makes things a little more difficult. We'll go ahead and add, let's see. We'll go ahead and add Prince here. We can still play around this, though, for sure. First things first, we'll start by linking into the Alacia. That'll put 5 engrave. Maybe I should have added the Lapis Dragon, but it's whatever. It's not too big of a deal. It's not a make or break at this point. We'll summon Moulin here while we have the 5, and then we'll see what we discard evenly, and Malefic. That's pretty nice. We'll put all 5 of these back. At this point, we have a monster negate, or a spell negate pop, and they're down 2 cards, which is great. Here we could possibly go for Gund with the Teus play, but there's really no need to do that. I think at this point I'm just going to activate this and pass. That's all I really see, like, you know, we need to do at this point. If we didn't banish the Lapis Dragon off of that Desires, we could have made a Needle Fiber play, which would possibly give us access to the Adamantius Synchro. Which is pretty great, just to have those negations, spell and trap negations. I'm still torn on draw power. Like, I hate both Desires and Moray of Greed in this deck. I might consider cutting Desires completely and just play a second Moray, and then, you know, fill that whatever that spot that other Desires would be for something else. So, maybe destroyed by battle. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it says the graveyard, you can activate this fact. This card makes a second attack. This one's a row during your standby phase. Okay, so we can just clear this with Alacia, since it doesn't say it cannot be targeted in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to add Pike here because we have Prince. We can turn that into a Bahamut Shark play next turn. Assuming, yeah, he's not going to do anything else for turn. So I'm just going to start with this. Pike is going to activate, discarding that. We'll add a copy of Gund. Then, of course, Neptibus is going to revive. We don't even have a Dragoon's Engrave. I am really smart. That's a bit of a mistake there, but it's fine. It's totally fine. We're just going to make Boral Sword here, I guess, and just swing for a game. We don't really need to complicate it in any other way. Yeah, we just swing for game here and see what happens. Doesn't have, what's it called? He doesn't have Nibiru because I don't even think we've summoned more than 5 times. It's like our 3rd summon. And we're in the battle phase too, so we don't need to worry about that. Swing again for game. That should be the match, I believe. Yeah. Pretty interesting game there. Pretty interesting game. We're going to go ahead and do one more, I think. All right, so I just made a slight adjustment to the build. I wanted just to run a quick build for this last game with 2 Moray and no Desires in it. And I put Ash Blossoms in, which, again, it seems counterproductive. We just took out, you know, 2 Desires. We still have, like, enough consistency cards in there, but we put in 2 non-waters. So let's see how that plays out. Again, it'll probably be very rare that it conflicts. But knowing my luck, we might just have it conflict right here in this first turn. And let's see what our opening hand is. Teus, Double Dragoons, Ash, and Call By. Okay, so that's not too bad. And if we are going second here, we have Form of Interaction, which is always nice. To not let the opponent completely play Solitaire. But it really depends on what they're playing. If Ash will make a difference. If there's a pivotal point that we can Ash. Who knows if we'll even use this Ash, because it looks like he's just setting a bunch of cards and passing. Okay, so we're going to draw Instant Fusion for turn. That is insane. This is already, I'm not even over exaggerating. This is a really good hand. Teus Dragoons and Instant Fusion. It's really, really solid, especially with having the Ash, which you didn't even need to use because this man is over here setting a bunch of things. We're also playing just against a bunch of Rogue, which is also kind of weird. But I mean, these are just random games. You can only control so much of the of this as you really can. I mean, I can play. You know, as this is the first episode of the series, I could probably just play a bunch of games and pick and choose the more interesting ones for the video. But again, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I don't want these recording sessions to be too terribly long, and there's a super polymerization. It's playing Shaddolls. Okay, so we actually did kind of get ourselves a bit of a meta matchup here. He's taking away the Prince, and he's going for a Nautilus. He's using Squamata. We're going to go ahead and chain Call By to that. No cards for you, good sir. No cards for you. And I don't think we're really still hindered by this that much. We're going to go into Cross Sheep, though, right now as our alternative. Because as it stands, we don't have a play outside of that. We don't have any discards or anything to, you know, trigger our Dragoons to keep playing. So we're going to go for Rare Fish. I don't think this Anointless is going to stop us from trying to go through with this play, unless he has a Call By, which he very well might have. But it looks like he doesn't. And yeah, Nautilus is a very... We could go into Dweller here also. Dweller could be an interesting play. But we have Ash, and we're also going to get a negate from Toad. So, like, I'm not worried about him having Shaddol Fusion next turn because we have plenty of ways to stop it. It's going to go through. We're going to use this to get access to Call By. So now he's going to use the Call By, which is interesting. We could negate that also, which I'm going to, because we'll actually use that to get an extra water to our hand, which will be beneficial here. I will set the destroyed card. It's a free Call By. Might as well take that. We're going to add the Megalo back to our hand. We're going to add, well, we're going to add the Megalo from deck, I guess. Just getting the effects confused there, I suppose. But it's fine. We'll add another Dragoons back. Then we'll summon this Megalo by discarding both of these Dragoons. We're not worried about Call By the Grave here since we didn't negate it. Didn't really care too much about a Super Poly here, which is kind of funny. And let's see what we have in our grave. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waters. And no way to manipulate them, I don't believe. So I'm gonna add... We could add Lapis Dragon and... Or we could just try to go for a basic, like, VFD play here. It really doesn't make too big of a difference. Because, yeah, because the play would be, like, add a Megalo here and any other water. And then make VFD. Or we could add a card like Infantry or Diva for next turn and Lapis Dragon. Special summon Lapis Dragon, link the Cross Sheep and Lapis for Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber summons the level 1. We Synchro for the Adamasha guy. We go into the battle phase to hit him for as much damage as we can. And knock a card out of his turn next turn with the... knock a card out of his hand next turn with the Desert Locust. That play to me seems more fun, so that's the play I'm gonna go for right now, despite my better judgment. But that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's add Diva for next turn. Just keep things interesting here. We'll use this. We'll summon that out. And then we'll go ahead and make ourselves a Needle Chief, just like that. We'll use its effect. Now, if we were playing Ravenous Crocosaur, we could summon Diva here and make Ravenous Crocosaur with these 2 cards and draw a card, which would be nice. Yeah, and that's pretty much that right there. We could link these 2, however, into a Star Boy, but we don't really need to do that. So let's just go battle phase. Let's run over this. He'll get back. No, he won't get back a fusion because he made that with Super Poly. So we're good there. We still have his Call by the Grave. And that's all we need to do. During his turn, once he uses something, we'll use our Needle Fiber. And go ahead and hit him for a card off the Desert Locust. Like, we've got Call by. We've got, I mean, granted, like I said, there are two plays that can be made here. I'm not saying this is the better play. I think VFD would have been much safer, but like we took their Call by. They're low on card advantage. We have an Ash in hand and the Diva ready for next turn. So it's a calculated risk, and it looks like that's going to be it there. And he's actually scooping and not wanting to play any other games. So, but I think that should be good for this first episode. It is what it is, as they say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, still for me, I'm still back and forth on what this build will look like once finalized for a profile. Like I said, having the Star Boy in the extra deck is enticing. But like I said, I could just easily want to put that Brionek back in the main. Desires, I'm still a bit torn on as to whether or not I'll play that. It's a good card. It did hinder us in that scenario, but nonetheless, I still think I'll probably keep Desires in, just because it's so good. But I mean, this alternative here is nice too. I mean, granted, the Morays in this situation could be swapped with Pot of Desires. Like, if it just is me, you know, thinking how I would build this list. It says 41, but it's because we have to have this card in here to be able to play Master Rule 5 on YGO Pro. So consider it 40 cards. Don't count this card. We could play it like this and still keep the double Ash in. That's an option as well. But yeah, that's where my list stands for now. Let me know what deck you guys want me to cover next in this type of video out of these decks that I have available here. Block BA, DDD, Invoke Shaddoll, Photon Galaxy, Necroz, Pure Mech Knight, Speedroid, Shaddoll Trains, Stellar Knights. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this series, this first episode. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Feedback will be very helpful here. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.